always surprises me how excited I get when I book a full-size three-row SUV. I know it's completely wrong. I know I shouldn't be excited about driving massive gas guzzler trucks, but I just can't help it. And a few of them stand out for reasons I can only describe as being emotional. I mean, the GM trucks, I've been a fan of theirs since for absolute ever. And then right around 2000, I fell in love with the first generation of this thing. Now, I have to explain that I did, I think, at least two, if not three, full long road trips from Montreal to Detroit for the Detroit Auto Show with the gang I used to work for at the time. And we were in a Sequoia and we had a great time. So maybe that's partially tied into it. But yes, I know that ultimately these full-size trucks are an American thing, a North American thing. But it's too easy to understand why these things are so appreciated. There is, in fact, absolutely nothing that they cannot do. And when Toyota finally announced after 15 years that they were bringing the all-new third generation Sequoia, I mean, I grinned ear to ear for a number of reasons. One, because I just love the styling, and two, it's only available with the iForce Max hybrid powertrain. Lots of power, lots of weight, but lots of power. Anyhow, look, you can obviously tell just by the way I'm talking about the all-new 2023 Toyota Sequoia that I love it. And I truly, absolutely do. There are only a few items that I would maybe change or not do, or at least I wouldn't pick this version, but this is a good option anyway. Anyhow, in the following video, as you are well aware, all three of you watching right now, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We're going to do a long walk around, 5.285 meter long full-size SUV, and then take it for a very relaxing and spirited drive. All right, so if we just get into design, I mean, it's obvious where the influences are, right? It's in the new Tundra, and frankly, it's just wonderful. I love the beefiness, the squared shoulders. I mean, the angles, everything visually about this truck is wonderful. Wonderful. I don't know, beefy, macho, tough. I love it. And the best thing I think the Toyota designers did was, that's right, there's no handlebar mustache as on the Tundra. That definitely the best decision. Perhaps the worst decision is the small diffuser down here. Okay, so the Sequoia has 8.7 inches of ground clearance available. That's only about 7 inches off the ground, and about 10 inches of snow fell yesterday. And you can see the result there. Well, I kind of half mangled it in soft snow. I mean, it's a really, really good looking truck. There isn't really, I mean, I do without the steps, but there isn't a bad angle truly on this truck. Now let's just jump into pricing. In the US, $58,365 for the base SR5 two-wheel drive. And if you go all the way up to the top for the TRD Pro, $76,065, or if you go to the Capstone, $75,365. In Canada, the TRD Off-Road, that's the base truck. I'm kind of happy about that. $76,050. $76,050. But I mean, 4x4 is obviously standard, and then the list of standard features is huge. I mean, I can just tell you right now, 8-inch display, 12.3-inch digital IP, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the 18-inch wheels, 8-seater, heated steering wheel, heated front seats, LED lights, smart key. I mean, it's well equipped. And then if you jump up to the Capstone in Canada, yeah, that's, it is, I got this, yes, it is $92,050. That's a heck of a lot of money. In my opinion, because I've seen it twice now physically, TRD Pro is the only model that I would consider. It's based on the Limited, which is $78,550, and adds a 14-inch touchscreen display, 20-inch wheels, moonroof, cooled seats. So that's a $2,500 jump for the Limited over the TRD Off-Road. I think it's definitely worth it, though. I kind of like the idea of 18s over 20-inch wheels. And then the TRD Pro package is $12,500 on top of that. So 91 grand Excuse me. So things that are kind of wrong with this very, very large SUV, obviously. Power tailgate. Oh yeah, and you can still open the rear glass, so I won't do it. What the heck? Okay? Yeah. Everyone bitched at GM for years about the third row not folding into the floor. And they finally figure that out, and then Toyota brings this. Okay, the available space, let's just jump into that. Okay, it's almost 1,400 liters behind the second row and just over 630 liters behind the third row. So behind the second row, 1,300, 1,400. Behind the third row, 632, I think. But the big issue is, okay, this is not flimsy per se, but it's just a band-aid solution for a problem that probably shouldn't exist. I'm thinking gas tank, I'm thinking battery, but even so, almost 5.3 meters long, this shouldn't be. And yeah, I guess I'll end that there. That bothers me. That would be perhaps the only reason why I would not consider this over a GM truck. Because otherwise, I mean, there's a buttload of space back here. Oh, and another thing too, in the TRD off-road, it's a 60-40 split. So if you want to lower the central portion of the rear row, well, you can't. Yes, there is a cushion, but there's no pass-through. Okay, that's not cool, especially if you have two kid seats. Third row, easy to access, whatever. This is how you raise it and lower it. Whatever. What I'm trying to say, right, lever, is that if you're over 5 feet 10 inches tall back there, your head's on the ceiling. I tried it, not very cool. But otherwise, I mean, if you do want to fit another human being between the two seats there, you can. So up front, so this is your base truck, right? So you still have power lumbar adjustment. The seats are actually fairly comfortable. I mean, they're very, very wide. So they will fit most body types. And this is your standard heated TRD steering wheel, which is actually quite cool. Fit and finish, it's robust, it's tough stuff. Well, okay, never mind that. But I mean, you know, it's very standard Tundra as well. Jumping aboard. So it opens up to, well, everything you see here. So there's your massive 12.3 inch display, which is standard. So yeah, that's the reality, even though it's a hybrid. Oh, radio's on, lower the volume. Come on. Okay, so this, however, for $76,000, an 8-inch display is, I don't know. That's why you spend $2,500 more and you get the limited, and then you get the 14-inch screen, which makes more sense for the price for the standing of this vehicle. HVAC controls I absolutely love. They're very, very straightforward, easy to use. Rear locking diff, the nanny, your camera views, auto hold. This is your 4x4 system, so like the Tundra, you push down, and that's it. So stay there. You got your drive modes. Crawl control, drive modes, I guess, right? We'll just toggle through here. I've been driving in Eco almost exclusively this whole time. The remainder of the dashboard it's beefy, Toyota truck-like, and it's quite nice. Again, fit, finish, the materials, this is just slightly padded, so it feels nice, it feels convincing. Oh, and storage. I mean, this is actually fairly deep. Good cup holder storage. This and then that and all of the above. I mean, you move into one of these trucks as you always do, right? Kind of cheap, but it is par for the course for this type of stuff. A little bit of a pocket up here too. There's nothing inherently wrong with the interior other than the third row, and for the drive, well, it just gets better, so let's do that. Damn, that's far. Oh, shifter, an actual shifter. Look, it's been a few days since I picked up this truck, and I still haven't really decided what part I like the most about the drive. I think maybe it's just the chassis, the suspension, the ride quality. I mean, this has a 4-link independent rear suspension, coil springs, fully independent in the front. And I think with the 18-inch wheels and tires with sidewall, Um, this is probably the best ride you're going to get this side of a TRD Pro with the specific dampers. I mean, this thing it drives. It's not floaty, but it's so comfortable, but powerful at the same time. If mostly because, you know, like 6,200 pounds of truck, right? That's excluding me and whatever other stuff might end up in the truck as you're driving about. It's just really, really nice. I mean, and that's one of the main reasons why I love driving these large trucks. They're comfortable, they're nice. Maybe a little over the top sometimes, but I don't know, I can't help it. The other thing is the 3.445 liter, 3.5 liter twin turbocharged hybrid V6. Yes, this is a max. It's the only powertrain available in the new Sequoia, and it produces a whopping 437 horsepower, so severely eclipsing the last iForce Max V8 engine. Speaking of eclipsing, it also produces 583 pound-feet of torque. Honestly, if you're not careful in two-wheel drive, as I am right now, putting your foot down from a standstill will just light up the rear tires until the traction control picks up. It's a serious buttload of power. I don't have like a 0 to 100 kilometer an hour sprint time, but let's just say it's fast enough. And part and parcel to the driving experience is the 10-speed automatic transmission, which like the ride, it's really smooth, really smart the way it operates, but it shifts substantially. Not that you feel them, but you know they're happening, and you get the impression that mechanically everything is well supported, everything is well backed. Yeah, oh, that torque. Oh, yeah. About the hybrid part. Look, I think I've managed, over the last few hundred kilometers of driving this thing, a few hundred meters of electric only driving. And you have to feather the throttle. And as I noted, I've been driving in eco drive mode almost exclusively. I mean, I did try out sport on the highway just about an hour ago, and yeah, this thing, it just absolutely boogies. But eco is a good way to kind of back you off the temptation of just putting the hammer down every time. I noted that we had some severe snowfall yesterday, and it's been mildish, -5 degrees Celsius up to about +3. And my driving has been 50-50, just about evenly split. And 15.1 liters per 100 kilometers is probably the best you can hope for. I mean, Toyota, I don't know what they're smoking. Say that you can, on average, you'll get a return combined average of about 11.7 liters. There's no hell. There's no way in hell that is even possible. I mean, even in the city, I think the number is 12.9 liters per 100 kilometers. I can't even fathom a world, a planet where that would be possible. This road here is horrendous. I don't want to talk about the earthquakes, but to give you an idea, this is bad. I'm flopping back and forth almost, or should be, but thanks to the suppleness in the dampers, in the springs, I mean, this is well beyond tolerable. As far as steering is concerned, it's fine. It's mechanical and heavy-ish. Brake pedal feels actually quite nice. I mean, travel is very limited, but it's responsive at the same time. Short of the fuel consumption numbers, I mean, it's terrible. I mentioned 8.7 inches of ground clearance. This thing can tow almost 9,200 pounds. So I mean, if you got to tow something, if you've got to haul, you have to haul 7 or 8 people, you can do it all in here. Though if all 3 rows are being used, you have essentially no boot left, even though it says 632 liters of trunk space behind the 3rd row. I don't know, maybe in the cracks and all that, but barring the third row itself and fuel consumption to be expected in a vehicle this size. I mean, this is so much more interesting than anything Nissan. It's funny how I'm enamored with the Toyotas and GMs, whereas the Armada, I mean, I've never driven a Patrol, so there's no emotional link there, but perhaps that's what it is. Between this and a GM, that's what it would come down to. I mean, I do like the Wagoneer. The Wagoneer. I don't know what to say. So there you go, that's the answer. So Wagoneer, Toyota Sequoia, or one of the GM Yukon or a Tahoe. I don't know what I would pick. I can't pick. Anyhow, that's it. This is a great truck. And man, that's big.